Okay, right. Good morning, Kirsty. We might be live already, but there's always this little lag. So we'll just wait and see and make sure we definitely are. Just going to check the various channels that we go live on. One of those is TikTok, and we've had a fucking nightmare with TikTok, haven't we? Literally. So I'm wondering, how can I see? Can you pop onto TikTok and just see if you can see
Yeah.
me live?
Let me have a look. What did you just?
Bear with us. I'm just joining.
My dog's barking at a cat. I'm so sorry.
I can't hear the dog, so that's good.
That's good.
Let me just. Last time I had to do this on the desktop. It's just that the TikTok responses, people joining and
We have a live.
commenting. Oh, we are perfect. They just come
Yeah.
in way quicker than anything else. I'm just trying to see how I can see. Ah, there it is. I can see us. We're live on TikTok again. Which is great. And I can see all the comments. So I will have to keep flicking between screens. So anyone that watches live and you see that when Kirsty's talking, I might look like I'm not paying any attention to her at all. It's not the case. I'm normally just flicking between another screen.
Don't lie.
What's going on? Welcome to those that have joined us this morning. We've got the virtual touch, Stacey, and today we're going to be talking about passive income streams, which I think is an exciting subject because we all want to earn a little bit of extra money, don't we? And
Exactly.
and I'm actually on holiday at the moment, so I am recording in a beautiful lodge in York. So I can only apologise if there's any noises that I wouldn't be expecting normally, but hopefully it'll all be okay.
Like a cow coming through the window.
I don't say that. It's not quite Halloween. And then last week's episode was, I finished editing it early this morning, and it was really good because it talked about the pros and cons of scaling your solo VA business into an agency. And if you didn't hear that or tune in, just remember all our past episodes are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, like all the usual streaming channels, and on our website, morethanava.org/podcast. You can always have a listen back, or on YouTube, you can have a watch back. But if you're joining this morning and you've got any questions whatsoever at all, whether that's about, being a VA, getting started, about passive income, anything at all that we can do to help you on your journey, then please just let us know. And there are a few people that have joined us on TikTok as well. So good morning. And hopefully you can all hear us okay. And if you can't, please just let us know, but it should be all good. Okay, good morning, Marie. Mushy said good morning. Thank you for saying hello. So we're going to talk about passive income streams because I'm going to be brutally honest. If you are a solo VA, well, even if you're an agency, it's going to be really hard to make loads of money, like so you can get to the level where you're buying whatever you want, whenever you want, without thinking about it, without plugging in some additional revenue streams. And one of the benefits of being a virtual assistant is you kind of automatically, without knowing it, have access to kind of like an ecosystem of revenue streams because of what you do. And as we go through today, I think that will become a lot more apparent. And I didn't realize I actually had additional revenue streams. I didn't think about them like that until we had Leanne Wright on the show from the VA Runway. And Leanne talked about how she had a bit of an epiphany because she scaled her business like I did into an agency. Things were going really well, but the profit margins are not massively high until you reach a certain number of clients. And I've got this theory that 30 above is the critical number. And she had a tragic situation happen in her life where the father to her children sadly died quite suddenly, and it just made her rethink everything in life. And she decided that there must be a better way, and started to plug in additional revenue streams. And two of those were ones that a lot of us will be very familiar with, the travel industry and utility warehouse. And the way she framed it just made perfect sense. As a VA, one of the jobs that a lot of virtual assistants do is book travel for clients. So it absolutely makes solid sense to become a registered travel agent. It's almost like a no-brainer. And then the other one, utility warehouse, well, now you've got your client base. You can also help them save money on their bills. And so you're not doing it from a place where, you know, some people, that's all they do and they've got to really hustle and work hard and network. You kind of don't have to work as hard because you've already got the client base as a virtual assistant. Is this something you've ever thought about? Would you consider, or do you have any passive income streams, Kirsty?
No, to be honest, I've never ever considered it because, but we've had this conversation before, haven't we? Where, you know, if you've got like a, you know, like a niche, like if I use like selling on Amazon, for example, you know, I've never thought about doing like, you know, not a course, but sort of like a how to on Amazon kind of thing, how to upload your products and sell that as a passive income. And that's something I've never considered. And I keep on meaning to sit there and go, right, how would I do this? This is how I'd, you know, record it and all that kind of thing. But you don't ever think about that kind of thing, do you? Unless somebody says that thing that you've got, you know, you could sell that, right?
You know what? It's kind of mind blowing that it's so obvious, but only when you know about it. And you know, some of the things for me, it was like I remember I had a bit of a moment. I was at a Federation of Small Business boot camp, and a guy from Zoho it was quite awful. There were some guest speakers there, and there was this guy from Zoho, and he was a representative, but he stood up to talk about automation and the capabilities of automation and building a mailing list. And this is all stuff I know inside out, right? Absolutely no problem. And he stood up to talk about this, and people were really interested because they were like, that's what I need.
Remember this.
I need to build a mailing list. How do you do it then? And they started to ask him, like, well, how do you do it then? And he went white as a ghost, because when they went into the detail of, well, how do you do these things and what is a mailing list and what is a lead magnet, he had no idea. He was just there to spiel off, you know, selling the Zoho platform. But I was standing there thinking, why do you not know this stuff? Like, people didn't know what a lead magnet was and things like that. And it really, really shocked me, because I assumed that what I knew, everyone knew. And that is the thing. You only need to be a couple of steps ahead of someone else for them to see you as someone who knows what they're talking about and buy from you. So that was kind of eye-opening for me. But again, like you just said, you don't realize until somebody mentions it to you.
No.
When Leanne talked about it, I loved, in my mind, I visualized, she said it was an ecosystem of recurring revenue, which is right. You've got a client already as a VA, you sell them travel, you then help them pay their bills, and it just keeps going around in circles, and that's how it works. But there is a difference between passive and semi-passive, and I want to be really clear about that today. We've had a question on TikTok. Somebody's asked, why is it so hard to get clients? I think the reason it's so hard is there's so much choice. There's multiple reasons. There's so much choice for virtual assistants out there. It's very competitive, especially from a pricing perspective. At the same time, it depends on where you are in the world, what country you're from, and what your niche is. And so you are really, years ago, you'd only have to compete with people in like your local town, but now you're competing against the whole world. So we don't want to focus too much today on how to get clients. In fact, if you join our free VA Vault membership, morethanava.org, then you get access to resources, and there is a cheat sheet in there to talk about this. But you do have to niche, and niching will be, you know, make your life a bit easier. And at the same time, you will have to be consistent, day in, day out, doing the networking, the connecting with people, and you will eventually get there. But I'm not going to say it's easy, because it's not. So for passive income, let's get clear on what that actually, you know, looks like. Semi-passive and passive. So you've got a passive income, which basically means you're earning money. You know, truly passive means you're selling with no ongoing effort. So things like digital downloads, it's something you create and then it just gets sold on repeat on automation, and you're not having to physically do anything to make sure that that thing sells, apart from marketing it. And then semi-passive means that you're going to have to put some input into it. So this is like courses, supporting with courses and community check-in. So you might sell a course, but you might want to make sure that the people who take your course are being supported. It's really funny, actually, because one of the prevalent things on TikTok right now is these digital marketing things. and you can be a digital marketeer, and all you're going to do is you're going to buy this ultimate branding course, and then you're going to sell it on because you get master resale rights and you don't have to actually create anything. And my stepdaughter actually contacted me recently and to say, what do you think I should do? Do you think I should do it? And I was like, I have a course building platform. You can have a subscription and I will teach you how to do it. Do not invest in it. Because one of the issues with something like that, whilst it might sound really attractive, is it's not passive. And they talk about it like it's passive. The reason they're on TikTok going live 10 times a day, it shows you that it's not passive. They're having to work really, really hard by constantly doing lives on TikTok. It's taking up all of their time. That is not passive, that's semi-passive. And at the same time, I believe that that business model is flawed because a truly successful business relies on repeat customers. You can't really get repeat customers with that.
No, exactly.
You've sold the product and that's it.
Yeah.
So they're not going to come back and buy it again, are they? You know
no, that's the thing. And I think it's difficult, isn't it, to want to, for me anyway, to understand passive and semi-passive, where, you know, passive is a rinse and repeat, it's just there, keeps going. But as you say, when you've got people on TikTok like that's promoting it as passive or whatever platform, and actually it's not, you've got to be so careful that you just don't fall into that little trap.
Yeah,
you'll invest in something that you're just going to have to then keep on kind of thing.
And actually, you've got to have passion. If you're going to sell something, people will only buy from you if they really believe in you. And if you're flogging someone else's products, then, you know, they're not really going to be. I mean, actually, I do allow VAs to join my travel team, but they can't just join. They have to fill out an expression of interest form, and then if they're not travelers, they're not passionate about travel, like I've been all over the world, massively passionate about travel, then they're not going to join my team, because you can't sell something you're not passionate about. You know, my stepdaughter, she's a horse rider. She loves horses. It's a massive passion of hers, and she actually she had a horse that got grass sickness, which normally kills horses. And she was in the newspapers and everything because she literally camped out in that stable for months. I'm not kidding. And got that horse back to health. And I'm like, you could teach people this kind of thing, like how to get through it. She could be teaching people so many things. And that's passionate. Instead of being on TikTok every day, talking about, I've been able to quit my job, which is probably not true, and I'll do this and I do that, and it's so amazing, so easy. You can be talking about something you really love and not have to invest loads of money because you already know it. You are the expert. All you need is a course builder platform, coursemadeeasy.co.uk, 30-day free trial, and then you just know how to put the course together. You're in that system that you can create a landing page and a sales funnel. And that's it, right? I'm not saying it's easy, because the other thing that annoys me is on Instagram, you'll see these PDF farming posts, and it says, I sit on a beach because of PDF farming, which basically means you just create loads of Canva PDFs and sell them. Well, you have to sell them. So it's not, actually, you know, you don't create the thing and it just sells itself. So that's a shiny tactic that doesn't actually work, because you do have to sell the thing. It's all about building your audience. But once you've done that, you can become truly passive. So today I want to really talk about that and hopefully inspire whoever's listening to think about other ways to generate income as a virtual assistant, because I do think that the world's your oyster as a VA, and you really can. So some of the examples of passive income streams that are global friendly, because a lot of the people that follow us on TikTok are from countries like from Africa, Nigeria, all these kind of countries. So I want to make it as globally friendly as I can. There'll be things like templates. So you could sell like templates for social media, onboarding, invoices, contracts. You can use Canva graphics, which is especially useful if you're a social media VA. It might be that a client doesn't want to take on your social media services, but they want to buy a template pack from you, because that is a safer option. They're not spending as much money, but it also gives you an open door to that client. Because one of the things is, if you get them onto your mailing list and they buy, let's say, a template pack of social media images from you, especially if you're a VA that's niched. So if, let's say, you're an aesthetics VA, you know, you used to work in the aesthetics industry and now you only work with aesthetic industries, then you could create beautiful, you know, Canva templated social media posts. And I'm not saying go and pick theirs, create your own. For the aesthetics industry, that's going to appeal to them. And because you know it so well, you know what works, they're going to buy that from you, but maybe they don't get time then to implement it. So you're going to be able to nurture them into, you know, now you've done this, why don't you actually take me on to schedule them for you? That's where the ecosystem comes into it. Then you can also create things like ebooks as well, how-to guides for like clients or other VAs, SOPs, so standard operating procedures, bundles or checklists. You can sell Notion dashboards. One of our associates is massive on Notion. I used to hate it and now I love it. And I do actually buy a lot of dashboards on there, and Airtable templates. So you can think about all these kinds of things that you can sell, you can create and sell, but in your kind of field of expertise. And then you can use platforms like Payhip, Gumroad, Etsy, Stan Store. They all work globally. So if you were thinking about what you could create, then those are the kind of platforms you could use. If you were to think, Kirsty, now I'm talking to you about it, about your expertise, the things you know, what could you create and sell passively?
I think it would absolutely be the Amazon, because when I was fully employed, full time, you know, employment, I managed the Amazon account, so from scratch. So it's very difficult to be able to be approved as a seller on Amazon. So, but it's actually the setup that's the really complicated part, because it has to be done in a specific way. And for your products to be able to get to that, you know, the top of the search, it's all about the keywords and things like that. So actually I'm sitting here going, actually I could just do like not a whole video or a whole course. I could just do like course 1 is this bit, course 2 is this bit, blah blah blah. So I could actually do it like that. And I always, like I said before, I always think, oh, I should do that, I must do that, and then I just think, oh, I can't do it, I don't know what I'm doing.
You could totally know what you're doing, and even
this is the thing, isn't it?
That is the thing. You have to believe in yourself, and what you have to remember, as I've said, even if you're only a few steps ahead of someone, you don't have to be the expert. You just have to be a little bit more knowledgeable than they are, because they want to get to where you are now. So you could even turn that into a guide. You know, it's something that's faceless if you didn't want to be making videos and things like that.
I could also do like a WhatsApp chat and sell that as a semi-passive income.
See, you got it now. This is how the ecosystem works.
I'm writing that down.
Once you get a seedling of an idea, you'll start to realise, she's actually writing it down. You'll start to realise that there are other ways you can branch off with that thing. It's almost like put it at the top of a hierarchy, and what can you create off that? And what else could you do from the back of that? You can say, actually, I'm a VA. I could just set it up for you. Because a lot of the time, this is the truth, people who download freebies or they buy guides don't do anything with them. They just sit in their inbox because they haven't got the time. They just need to realize they haven't got the time. So if you can get them to that point, and you've then got an automated email nurture sequence, it can say, you know, how did you get on? Did you implement it or didn't you? Well, why don't you come and take on my services instead? So there are so many other ways in. If anybody's listening and you have tried passive income, or you do have passive income streams, talk about it. Tell us what you're doing. We would love to know, and then chat about it and give other ideas to other virtual assistants. And then the other things are things like courses and workshops. So pre-recorded training. So you could do like how to set up Calendly for clients. So these are things that you could teach other VAs as well as clients. You could teach your niche skills. So VA basics like email marketing, automation. So, you know, for any VA that wants to upskill more into the tech space. And these can be hosted on platforms like Teachable, Thinkific, or WhatsApp groups, like Kirsty's just said, which are more popular in like African regions. And then you've got Telegram as well. So, or CourseMadeEasy.co.uk. and then you can use tailored price points like to local markets. So you all use tiered pricing. You get a bonus if you buy this one, it's the I don't know, the basic, and if you buy this one, it's the bonus. So there's so much more you can do with it. And one of the things I started to do last year was, when I had this epiphany and I realized that people didn't know what I knew and I thought they did, I decided to start earning money from that. So I did in-person workshops, and I did 2 last year. The first one was how to build a lead magnet funnel, and I did it in a way that wasn't just like you come and I tell you. We did it. We actually did it together. And then I did one which was how to build and sell a digital course. Now, because I think like that anyway, which is, well, how else can I monetize on this? I then turned those recordings and all of that I'd done into digital courses that could be sold. So as well as having the workshops that were in person, I could then sell them passively as well, because I'd already created the material. So I always say to people, if you create like if you do like a masterclass or a webinar, you could resell that as a course. So it's all like a video tutorial or something like that. So it's another way to sell it. So I started to do that, and then I turned that into digital courses to sell as digital courses. But then you can break it down again. So the other thing I do is I talk at events. And I started to, I've given a couple of talks. One of them is about how to get started with CRM automation. And the other one is how to build a massive mailing list. And I turn those into digital courses as well. Because, well, you've already got it. You've already got the material. You might as well do something more with it. And that was when I realized I already have passive income streams, and I didn't even know I didn't even think about them like that. So I think for you, Kirsty, you've definitely got to do it, because you are super knowledgeable in this, and people do. I would not have a clue how to sell on Amazon. And so for you, it's doing that, and all you've got to do is work out where that audience is, who are the people that want to know, and market to them, and then just constantly market, all the time, but have it there ready to sell.
But how would you, like, with something like that, or with anything that like you're thinking about doing as a passive income, how would you like price that? Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, where would you even start to look?
Yeah, well, the thing is, it's about the value of your time, isn't it? What you've put into it. There are some things like, I recently created a digital course for virtual assistants called Steady and Scalable Preparing for VA Growth. This was to help VAs to understand you're going to go through feast and famine months. You're going to have difficulties, and this is what you can do. Now, I created it. It's not a long course. It's very short, and it was for the people in my VIP membership, and also for my Growth Access membership. And I thought, well, actually, that didn't take me loads of time. It was just knowledge I had. It was probably a couple of hours. And so I sell that as $9.99. But then I have bigger courses like that. I've put, the ones I spent a whole day teaching people, they sell for like £50. And then I've got a workshop coming up in January. That's going to be 3 hours of my time, half a day with people. That's going to be $149.99. But after I've delivered that, because I can record the whole thing, that can be turned into a cheaper course then. So for something like what you're doing, it is about, well, how many people know how to do it? How easily could they get that information from somewhere else? How time consuming? So could they just Google it and there it is? Is it that simple? Could they chat to it and it's that easy then to just implement it? Or is that a little bit more difficult? And if it is something that's quite easy, they could get from somewhere else, well, what extra can you give them? Like the WhatsApp group. Well, ChatGPT can't give them a WhatsApp group, but you can. But you could also upsell. So you could say, well, you can buy this guide. It teaches you step by step how to do it. You could then say, but as a bonus, if you want to join the WhatsApp group for support, you can also have this, and that's going to cost you a bit more. Now, there's a woman that I follow because I'm pivoting, and she's doing a 3-day free workshop. So one of the great ways of getting people in the door is to do something for free. So a lead magnet or a workshop or a mastermind or a webinar, you would do it for free and then sell something on the back of it. Now, she's doing that for free, but really cleverly, she's saying over those 3 days, you can also access this VIP lounge just for those 3 days that she's doing the program, which is a free program, but you'll get some email templates. You'll get the exact strategy to do this, that, and the other, and you'll get access to a Facebook group, and it's $17.99. Well, that's not going to break the bank. $17.99. That's fine. That's brilliant. I did it. I paid for it straight away, right? But this is what's really going on. This person is going to sell you something at a much higher cost at the end of it, and that's be access to them in their coaching group or something like that. But you will have spent 3 days with them, and then you will have spent more time with them in this lounge, and suddenly now you've trust them. You know they know what they're talking about. They've built that time with you. They've built that trust. You're going to be more ready to hand over your money. So if you were thinking about doing something like the Amazon thing, then you could start as a 45-minute free webinar, sell that, list that on somewhere like Eventbrite. You then do it live on, like live or whatever. Or if you was really not comfortable, you could pre-record it and they could download it for free. You wouldn't give away all the information. You'd give away the bare bones, but you'd leave them wanting more and needing more. And that's when they can then pay to join this thing or pay to get this thing. And that the reason that they're more likely to buy is now they trust you because you showed them all of this knowledge.
Right.
That's what
got it
is. Free. You got it? Yeah?
Got it.
Anyone got a question? So Marie said, I'm with UW, but want to do something else related to my VA business too that will bring passive income. So travel is one of those things that a lot of VAs are doing. And I'm not saying it's become almost, I recently registered as a travel agent, but I'm not pushing it because it's just there then, isn't it? It's just there. I can also make something of it because I get cheaper access to things. But at the same time, if a client, then I can put it on my website as you let me plan your travel. The bonus of it is we don't use clients' time then to plan travel for them because it's a separate business, but you can still kind of like push it through your existing business. So it is another thing to consider. And then also thinking about what your niche is, Marie, what else could you do dependent on your niche that people might be interested in? I think if VAs went down this route more, they'd probably work themselves out of being a virtual assistant and probably become more of a digital creator in the end. And then the other thing to consider is things like affiliate income. So you might already be using tools like Canva, Dubsado, Payhip. Lots and lots of these tools, like 1Password, we use 1Password, have affiliate programs attached. So you can join their affiliate program and share their link and earn commission through sharing it. So, for example, I must admit I've fallen short of this for a while, but I was doing it. I just need to go back to it. One of the things we do with our clients is we recommend they use Password Manager, and we do that as part of our onboarding emails. All I have to do is put in there, we recommend 1Password, which we do because one of the things I want to be really clear about is please don't sell products you're not passionate about. Don't be an affiliate for something that you don't love or you wouldn't buy yourself, because that's just really wrong. So we say, we recommend 1Password, and when they click on that, that's a link that I will earn commission from. And it's the same as my insurance provider, Markle. So I use Markle, and then when associates join us, we say you have to have insurance. We recommend Markle, and I get £40 Amazon vouchers every single time somebody. I've had like hundreds.
Why are you only sharing this information now?
Keep all my secrets locked inside. But yeah, so there are so many other things. Write that down. That you could be an affiliate partner for, and we actually offer our own affiliate programs as well. So we've got an affiliate program for our VIP, not just for our VIP, any of our members of More Than a VA, the community, who want to then refer people into our memberships, our paid memberships, so they can earn over £900 a month doing that. So there's another way of looking at it, is how else can you, what affiliate programs, just look at the tools you're already using, just go away later, write down all of the software, all of the apps, all of the systems you're using, and do any of them offer an affiliate scheme? And if they do, join it and recommend them, because it's another form of income.
See, that affiliate scheme is something that I need to look at a little bit more, because quite recently I've started working with a couple of businesses that are just amazing at what they do. Like they don't dress it up, they don't use big words or anything like. They just tell you as is. And I thought last night, like, I've referred quite a few people to one specific business, I'm just wondering if, like, how would I go about setting up or suggesting that to a business, like an affiliate scheme? I would
Yeah.
never know where to start.
Most businesses will expect you to. So I have regular conversations with people I meet networking, where if we then we have a follow-up call, one of the things we'll talk about is how we can support one another by passing business to each other, but there'll be a kickback. So with that company, and I think I know who you're talking about, it would be an email that says, as you might have realized, I've put a lot of business your way over the last year or whatever. I was wondering if you'd be open to some sort of a commission scheme, and that would incentivize me to work harder to put more business your way. Would you be open for a chat about that? And they will be. They'll be open for a chat. There's no way they're going to say no, because now they don't want you to stop referring people to them. So that's all you've got to do, is just like a polite email. But if you go networking, always have a follow-up. Always contact the people after. Say, it was lovely to meet you, networking. Even if you didn't get to talk to them, say, it's a shame we didn't get to talk more. It'd be great to hop on a call and learn more about your business. The amount of times I've done this and thought that it's going to be a massive waste of time because I just don't think there's going to be anything to talk about. And then I've gone, wow, there's so many like synergies here that we can work with one another on. And I've got people lined up for like HR, lead generation, sales, where if I needed to pass business their way, they're all lined up to give me commission back. So you just got to have the conversations though. They might not really be advertising that's what they do, but any sensible business person will say yes to that because they're going to want that income.
Look at me using my brain.
You're going to do it. You've got a couple of tasks to do today, Kirsty.
We've got a massive list, mate.
So anybody that's listening and has any questions about it, then please feel free to ask. And yeah, great idea. I'm definitely going to look into this. If you wanted to join my travel team, Marie, then I'm more than happy to send you over the application form. It's only because I prefer to have people that actually love traveling and are passionate. I've just had somebody, they've never traveled, and I did have to say no because I just don't think it can work otherwise. And then you've got things like memberships and retainers. So you could build a support group or a resource hub for clients or for VAs. So obviously, one of the biggest things I've been building is More Than a VA, which is our community. Now I don't think you can ever create something and sell it unless you give something away first. So I started building this about a year ago, maybe a little bit longer. I can't remember. I think it was only about a year. And I already had in the background. So this is the truth. When I started scaling my VA business into an agency, I could not find the systems and the tools and the software to help me bring everything together. I wanted somewhere where I could keep all the VAs in one place. They would have calendars that were in my system and not their own, that I could onboard clients and associates, seamlessly, where I had all, no end of automation capabilities, and that I wasn't going to be charged more every time I went up to another level and that kind of thing. And I just couldn't find anything. And then eventually I found a system. It wasn't perfect, but it was as close as I was going to get. And I spent a couple of years customizing it and making it really bespoke to my business. And then I realized that actually I could give this to other virtual assistants that also needed a system to manage their business, whether solo or scaling into an agency. But I couldn't go out there and just sell it as a system. No, actually, the truth is I did. I tried to do that. I tried to just go, here's an account management system, come buy it. And no one was interested. Nobody. Because what I hadn't done was I hadn't built a community. I hadn't built an audience. So I spent time building a community on Instagram. I didn't want to be on Facebook, but I spent time, and I wasn't on any of the channels, just on Instagram for virtual assistants. And my strategy to build your audience is to follow people who are your ideal customer, and they are more likely to follow you back. And I've built big audiences doing that. So I would just follow virtual assistants all of the time. And then I built a free community to begin with. So I built out this free community. They've got access to free resources, but always with the plan that I was going to launch this paid membership. And the paid membership then became the system and support. Okay, so then there was going to be 3 tiers. You could have the free support, the growth or the VIP. And as we've just said, you get more depending on which one you're buying into. But it all starts with that free community. So people come in to begin with for free. They get all these free resources. They're getting to know me. They're listening to this podcast. This podcast is very much part of that. They're building up trust, and then they're going to make a purchase. So it's hard work, you know. It's not like this is just it's easy and it just happens. It's no way passive at all. But eventually, the hope is, you know, you keep building up that audience and you keep building up that trust, and you've got a bigger and bigger community. It does become more semi-passive because the work isn't as difficult. People know about you so much more that they're just likely to buy from you. And then you've got people, you know, when people sign up for our resources, they have to give us their email address. So now I can nurture those people with a weekly newsletter, with email campaigns, and when we open the doors to our membership, to let them know about the membership. So that's kind of the ecosystem you have to build in order to really make that work. And that's why when I talk about these digital marketeers on TikTok, I think there's no way that's happening at that level.
No,
it can't be. I don't believe it is.
No. It's difficult, isn't it? Because you wouldn't, like, you know, you wouldn't automatically think about building. You would just go, here's a product, let's sell it. You wouldn't necessarily think about building that community and building that audience prior to. You just think, oh, there's a pen, I'll sell it to somebody who needs a pen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Building that audience first is obviously the key way to do it.
You have to build the audience first. And even now, so we do like a doors closed. So our doors are closed. That gives me time over the next 3 months to build the audience again. So it's like it's called launching, and there's a lot of work to it. And then the other thing you could do is you could sell monthly templates. That could be social media templates. You could sell accountability calls. So instead of having clients on a retainer, you could have clients that just have accountability check-ins. And you just do like a £50, £100, you know, once a month to just check in and see where they are and keep them on track. You could even sell things like Q&A sessions as well. And as a VA, as you get more experienced, you can offer this to other VAs. So your audience won't just be clients, it will be other virtual assistants. And then you can get paid through platforms like Patreon, which is like a fan-based platform, Buy Me a Coffee, or Momo Pay, which is more Africa specific. So these are all the kinds of things you can be thinking about as a VA to build passive income streams. But in addition, it's looking at what you already have. So what you've already got, and diversifying that. So some of the things that we sell that are not packages are, we sell a course builder. So we say, we'll build your course in 3 days or your money back. And we do that because we can do that. We can, but most clients will not have the materials to hand and all the things they need to give you to get your course built in 3 days. So actually, although you're promising them this, and we would deliver and we would give the money back if we couldn't do it, it's reliant on the customer giving you that. So we've had people buy it, but it's not finished in 3 days because the client can't give us everything. But it's still a really good hook to get people to go, I've been wanting to build that course for ages. I can't actually get around to it. This is going to be done in 3 days. Now, it might take a week or 2 instead, but it still gets done and the client's still happy at the end of it. And that costs £299. So that's something you could be selling, you know, all the time. And then on the back of that, you could say, but now do you want me to manage that for you in the background? Do you, when I talk about we're going to build your course and sell it, we do all of the automations and the sales pages and everything that goes into it. Because once you do it once, you can just duplicate it and do it and repeat.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, yeah.
A lot of people are not techie. And so then you can say, well, you know what? I'll give you an example. One of the things we also offer is a one-off website build. Okay, so we offer a one-off website build, £900, or you can pay over 3 months. Now, some people that land on that page will think, well, I could do this myself. So we then offer instead a website builder software, which is the software we offer as part of our VA membership, the VIP access and the growth essentials, but we strip bits out and we've made it just so it's a website building platform. So you can buy that for £21 a month and build your own website. Or you can get us to build your website for you and then pay for unlimited tickets every month to raise jobs. So £350 a month. And you can say, oh, I need this edit. Oh, I need this added on. So it's not just selling something once, it's selling it over and over again in lots of different ways that the customer doesn't even know they've been sold to. So, you know, is it making you think about things?
Absolutely. But I think with the course builder as well, you know, if that people will come back for, like, you know, because you don't just have one course, do you? You have like 2, 3 on various different things. So they will always come back to you as well because you've done that, you know, and you think that's what that's madness to me.
It is. It's just about selling it, but that's the thing. It's £300, and then the next time they want a course, well, you've just edited the videos, you've put all the modules together. They're not going to want to do that, and they've already got you. So why would they? They're just going to come back to you.
Yeah.
And so it's looking at what you already offer and how you can monopolize that in different ways. So if you've got clients that are regularly asking for, I used to have a client that always wanted me to help him plan his play dates with his child. So you could then say, well, I don't do that for loads of clients. I just did this for one client. So there might be others. This was like a high-end client. So, and London. So why don't I do like a targeted package, which is planning your family trips or planning your play dates or this kind of thing? You would then take out maybe an ad that's specific, maybe a boosted post on Instagram or a Facebook ad that's specifically for that service in that area. So you're not diluting, you know, your target audience down. Put it out there, but then on the back of that, they're going to buy that from you. You're going to do that service. But what if you were recommending places like Merlin Attractions and you were an affiliate of them? Or so the money keeps coming back around, right? Or you are a travel agent. So with my travel agency, we can do like UK based attractions and events as well. So then you can be pinpointing them to those places. No, you're not doing this in an unethical way. You would actually be having to give them stuff that's going to be, you know, relevant to them. But there's other opportunities then to make money within that package. Do you see where I'm going with it?
Yeah. I mean,
So
I did used to do that for a client. I used to do his like weekly shop. Because he didn't have time to do it. And then when Christmas came around, he gave me a list of presents he wanted to get for his kids, and I just did that Christmas shop for him. I didn't do the ideas or anything, but he gave it to me and I did that for him because he didn't have time to do it. So actually, you could have that as a semi-passive income as well. Like,
yeah, and also a lot of these places, you hit the website once, you're not a member of it or anything like that. I'm not sure if this is ethical or not. You could ask the client, would they mind? But especially if they're a high-end client and they say, oh, come back, we'll give you 10% for joining. So you could get the code, you know, but you have the code and you go and do your shopping and you get 10% on there. So there's just so many different avenues you can go down that you've probably never ever thought about before when it comes to passive income and semi-passive. I'm just going to go to our website quickly and just pull out some bits that we'd offer that could be considered as passive and semi-passive. Another one is CRM migration. Right, okay. So somebody wants to migrate their CRM system from one to another, and we sell that one-off thing. But again, all you've done is, you know, exported their or imported their CSV file to create the customer base. But they might not know what to do with that CRM system now they've got it. So then you've got another opportunity to say, oh, for this much, we could continue with this ongoing support to get your CRM system ready. Now, the other thing I sell passively is a CRM system. Because a lot of our clients that come to us don't have one, they need one, they're not sure where to go. And so what we do is we say, if you buy ours, you get it at a reduced rate. And if you leave us, that increases. So it's a good incentive for them to get it and also to stay with us, because otherwise they're going to lose access. So you do have to put a lot of thought into, if you're going to sell passively, how you're going to launch the thing you're selling, how you're going to market it, out where the audience comes from, how you build the audience, what other opportunities are there within that thing that you're selling, and what can you give for free to get people interested and to know, like, and trust you to begin with. But honestly, once you start doing it, it becomes second nature. But I'm not going to say any of it's like easy the way people make out it is, because it isn't. It isn't.
No, I don't imagine it is, but I think you're right. I mean, it's like, you know, one of those things that you think about, and then when you've actually done it, then you kind of suppose you want to do something else as well, doesn't it? And like I've just done when we were talking about it, I could do like a WhatsApp chat, like a, you know, a troubleshooter or whatever. So it will just bulk on and add on things when you're thinking about it to be able to increase that income.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just, but what I would say is start with one thing. Don't try and do many.
Yeah.
You can get shiny object syndrome, and you're like, oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Just concentrate on the one thing you're doing. And I tell you, I'm guilty of that, the shiny object thing. I've just mentioned all these passive income things I've got, and I never really sell any of them because I don't put any time into them. They just sit there. However, what I do work really hard on is the VIP community, not the VIP, more than a VA community. One, because I find I'm most passionate about it. I love helping other VAs. I sometimes have the most ridiculous free calls or give voice notes because I get overexcited. But that's because I'm passionate about it.
Yeah.
And then it just makes my job easier then when I'm trying to build the membership up side of it up, which I can't lie and say I'm not trying to make an income from that, because of course I am. But at the same time, I love being able to give all this knowledge and support. So because I've put so much, I've invested thousands of pounds into my knowledge to do this properly. Because of that, I have seen more and more success with it. So you do have to be consistent and invest in yourself. So one of the things I did, I know a lot about the tech side, funnel building and all of that, but Lisa Johnson, who's a strategist, and I follow her, I went on her one-to-many program. It was £2,000, right? But I needed to know specifically more about the launch side. And that was eye-opening for me. And it made me realize when you launch for about 3 months. It's really, or 6 weeks to 3 months. It's really, there's a lot that needs to go into it. You can't just tell people, I've got something, it's here. It will fail. And it was the best investment I made. Now I know enough that I can teach someone else how to do that as well.
Yeah.
And it served me really well because our business, our VA agency, is pivoting into the online business management space. And one of the biggest niche we're going into is business coaches and consultants. And a lot of them are looking to launch and don't know how to launch. And we're going to be selling launch strategy blueprints because I can teach you how to launch successfully. So it's worth investing in your knowledge. It's not, remember, when you learn something, you didn't learn something at college or university and say, I can never teach that to someone else. That's not plagiarism. It isn't. You've learned it. It's your knowledge now. You can sell it.
Yeah. You are so clever.
Your knowledge is so saleable. I only know what I know because I've learned from others, and you're learning it from me. And it sounds fascinating, but in 6 months' time, you could be teaching someone else how to do it, and that's how it works. People want to know what you already know. When I taught my course building workshop, the first thing I said was, a lot of people, they're so scared because they think, well, who's going to want to know it? There's courses out there on how to be a mermaid, right? How to drink more water. Yeah, how to drink more water.
No.
How to get a girl you like to go out with you. If these courses are selling, I'm sure you, for example, Kirsty, could sell a course on how to sell or become a seller on Amazon. So, there's crazy.
You're right though, because if I think about all the stuff that you've taught me throughout our kind of 4-year journey, I wouldn't have known half the stuff, more than that probably, that I know now. Honestly, if I never even heard of Canva before I started working with you. Honestly, and like this, what I'm like, everyone knows I hate technology, but even like the CRM system, I could go navigate around that with my eyes closed now. I don't even have to think about it. I'm like, la, la, la. And a lot of other clients I work with have the similar system under a different name or whatever. And I go, oh, no, it's all right, I know how to use that. Like even last night, I was doing this thing for a client in the same system as we use, or you've taught me. But if I didn't know that, I'd go, yeah, no, I can't work with you because I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing.
No, that's true. And actually, I think that's the problem. A lot of people, they're self-taught, so they think they have the qualifications. Look, if I sat here now and I told you all, I left school at 15 because I had an awful childhood and bullied horrifically, and I just left school and started working in a fish and chip shop. No qualifications at all, right? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like, you don't need to be qualified and have a certification in something to be an expert at it. I remember, like, I wasn't a tech VA when I started. I had no clue. I just practiced. I mean, I've cocked up clients' freaking Active Campaign account once because I didn't know what I was doing in there, but I just kept on at it. And I remember one day we was chatting and you was going, "What, you're a tech VA?" And I was going, "No, I'm not. No, I'm not." And you was like, "Well, you are." And I was like, "No." And it took me a really long time to accept that I was. And I've just built so much confidence over the years to say, to go out there and teach people these things and accept that I do know what I'm talking about. I mean, I'm giving a talk next Wednesday about building a massive mailing list, and there's always a fear that someone in that room is going to know more than you. But at the end of the day, because you always get somebody, don't you, that wants to act like they're Mr. Smarty Pants. But there's ways of shutting that down. But that's not to say someone in the room won't know more than you. That's fine. But all the other people didn't. So you've just got to be confident with what you know. And I think for you, Kirsty, it's something you should definitely be considering with the Amazon. Like, I wouldn't have a clue. And I was thinking about selling on Amazon, and I would definitely, I'm actually, you know, we talk about like, know and trust. I don't actually need to like, know and trust that many people. Like, I will see a post and they're offering me what I need and I'll just buy it.
Yeah.
That's who I am. I don't follow them for months and months on end. Last year, I from a brilliant person how to launch Black Friday, and I did it a bit late, but this year I'll be doing it on time, and it worked. And I sold, you know, not millions and thousands, but I did it. And if I wanted to, I could teach someone else how to do that now, because now I know how to do it. You know, it's worth the investment. So one of the things, as we're talking about, is mindset shifts. You just have to change your mindset. You don't need a huge following to make money passively, but you do need to build an audience. But it doesn't have to be huge. Okay, so, like I've just said, if you're offering something that people really want, they might not even be in your like mailing list, and they might just buy from you. The woman that I've just like signed up for her, I did a free masterclass and then these free 3 days, but I bought the £17, you know, VIP lounge. I've never even heard of her. She's come through from somebody else who's an affiliate of hers. And yeah, I've been on her website and love what she's doing, but it's just out of my price range. But I would literally buy from her tomorrow if it was cost effective. But I've never followed her. I didn't know anything about her. The other thing you need is consistency. You've got to be consistent, but you only need to create something once to sell it often. So you literally create it once and then you could just sell it constantly. One of my top performing lead magnets is my LinkedIn profile booster. It gets downloaded multiple times every single day, right? For free. It's for free. I did print them, have them printed, and I sold them when I went to an exhibition. But really, it was to say, it was a sales ploy. Well, not a sales ploy, it was a marketing ploy. I said, you can buy it or you can give me your mailing list and get the digital download for free. So I got their email, and that was why I did it. But actually, people did like buying them as well. So if I wanted to, I could remove that as a lead magnet and sell it, because I know it works really well. You could create something originally as a lead magnet and then eventually see how well it does and sell it. The other thing is, if you want to create something, it doesn't matter what it is, right? Just have a waiting list for it first. Don't create it when you've got an audience of people interested in buying it. So get this waiting list going, get the excitement, the buzz, without having to actually create it. I mean, I'm doing a workshop in January, on January the 30th, called How to Get Clients. Okay, it's going to be a proper deep dive into what you need to do to get clients. Now, I'll be working on that material over Christmas, but I can't wait to sell it and build on it over Christmas, and then January comes and no one knows about it or knew about it in time. So I'll be doing a waiting list in advance of it, and as part of that, they'll get an early bird opportunity to get a coupon to get it cheaper if they join the waiting list. So it's another thing you can do. Because you've got to remember, none of this stuff costs you anything. So when you talked about pricing it, you could price it whatever you want, because there wasn't really any overheads to begin with, right?
As you say, you can do early bird things, can't you? Like, you know, or do the waiting list, then do the early bird thing, and then put the price up, you know, depending on what you've put into it, kind of thing. But as you say, it don't cost you anything because it's all in my head.
Exactly. So you can literally price it however you want to, and that means you can do it cheaper to begin with and more later on and that kind of thing. So it's going to be part of my Black Friday deal. So keep a lookout for that. And it does take time. So you can't just give up after one try. If you try and it doesn't work, you've got to try again. I had a VA launch something recently, and then they sent me a message. I don't coach them or anything, just somebody I know. And they said it didn't work. And I knew it wasn't going to work because I'd seen it come out and it just came out of nowhere. There didn't seem to be a big build up to it. So it hadn't been launched properly. But I talked to her about this is what I would do. I'd go back and relaunch. Don't give up. You know, we all make mistakes. And that's what she's done. And I can see now from testimonials she's getting sales. So don't give up, you know, keep trying. And passive income allows you to take breaks even through illness. You know, or scale without burning out. So one of the great things about passive income is, like we talked on last week's show about feeling like you can't go on holiday because you're going to lose clients or not going to have any income. This gives you that income during those times where it's quiet or you need to go on holiday.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It's definitely something that just broaden your mind a little bit about it. If you've got an idea, just run with it a little bit and see where it takes you.
Yeah, definitely. Just go for it. What you got to lose. And then the other thing is, what you need to do is you need to think about what skills do I already have that people will pay to learn. So what do you know that someone else will pay to learn? So think about that. And for you, that's like Amazon. I could teach you how to launch successfully. What questions do you get asked over and over again by clients or other VAs? If people keep asking you the same question, then they don't know how to do that. And that's one of the reasons that I developed my lead magnet funnel workshop, because I would constantly get asked about how you create a lead magnet. And I thought it was madness. I honestly thought, what? And I've just realized the people that actually came to my course, some of them nearly backed out because they were scared that there were going to be really technical people in the room, and there wasn't. And you know what? We make too many assumptions. One of the demographic audiences I never target as a VA is digital marketing companies. Because I always assume they know more than me. Do you know how many of them have come to me for this? I had somebody on my workshop and she had no clue how to build a lead magnet funnel. No clue. And this is a digital marketing company. So don't assume that people will already know, because honestly, they don't. And then the other thing, what's something I've created once that could be turned into a template or a toolkit? So what have you already got that you could now monopolize on and repurpose it? So I did this cheat sheet. It was really funny, actually. I did this cheat sheet, 20 ways to get clients. I could have gone on all day. I could have gone on to 50, 100, honestly. And I thought, I've got to stop somewhere because I'll just give it all away. But then on the back of that, I thought, I could teach a workshop on this, because I get asked this all the time. In the TikTok community in particular, I constantly get asked, how do I get clients? And I thought, well, I can't just sit here like giving this information away. I've given you a freebie now. That's going to be a magnet naturally, because I want the people who want to come on my workshop to want to know how to get clients. And then I can just teach that in a workshop. So you think that everyone knows? They don't know what you know. You could teach people how to be account managers for associates.
I was just thinking about that. I was like, hang on a minute. But it's quite interesting because I'm working with somebody at the moment who is not technically minded, has no idea about social media. And I'm not saying I'm a professional by any stretch of the imagination, but I've just set him up a marketing campaign and done a journey for him about where to start, you know, what to when's the house, what's what, all that kind of thing. And I've done some graphics for him and that kind of thing. And when you sit there and go, that people in that type of industry have no idea, not one iota, how they could build or target, particularly if you've got a good, decent product to sell. And I presented this to him late last night. I finished it late last night. And I said to him, I've done it. Like, let's just have a quick call. I've done like a social media plan and all that kind of thing. And he was going, like, he literally was like, this is amazing. I would never have even thought that this is how this could work. Like, he was blown away. And now you're sitting, I'm going, what? Hang on a minute.
That's amazing. Like, Now, you could have tried to sell that to the wrong person or give that, and they will already know all this, what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But it's about finding the right people that need it and knowing where they're going to be. And sometimes that's been in the right, Facebook groups. Sometimes it's been in the I was talking to one of our VIP members on our Q&A last week, and she'd said she wants to be in the Airbnb industry. And I think that's a really good niche, but I can tell she's kind of half in, half out, and you need to go all in. My husband always says this great phrase, you can't be half pregnant, right? Which is true. So I always say, I said to her, well, what? She said, I've got a great idea. I'm going to create, which is a great idea. I'm going to create a check-in template, like an information template. So people come into the property, and this is what the information you'd have. And then on the back of that, she can offer to them. Well, she hadn't thought about this. She was just going to do the template. And I said, well, it's great, because then on the back of that, you could then offer your services to create the template specifically for them. The issue I had with it was you're only going to market that to new Airbnb hosts, because existing ones will already have this. So if you're trying to get into a market of existing Airbnb hosts that are struggling for admin because they're growing their business, then this isn't lead magnet, or this isn't the right package. So you do have to think about where the client is and meet them where they are. So in your case, you'll have a client. So if yours was the Amazon thing, it would be people that are already selling, or they already have product lined up. They just need to, now they've got it, they're ready to launch it, but they need that platform. There's no point in going to someone before they've even got the product ready, because you're getting them too early. So in her place, what's the point in trying to get into bed with brand new Airbnb hosts who are going to hold on to every penny they've got because they're just starting out, when you could be going down to the more established ones who have got plenty of money coming in and they're really strapped for time? And for me, that would be a different offer. Then it wouldn't be a template on, check-ins and things like that. So he's thinking about where they are and meeting them where they are. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Yeah.
Well, I didn't think I was going to waffle on for as long as I have about income, because I actually got on this call thinking, I'm not going to know enough. Yeah, here I am. So, and I got all passionate about it, but we have gone well over an hour. So I think we're going to have to end that there. But if anyone listening had any questions and you didn't feel confident asking, then you can always reach out to us. We are on More Than a VA on Instagram. I am More Than a VA on Facebook. You can find us on TikTok, YouTube, literally we're all over the bloody place. And also our community, so morethanava.org, and you can join the free community or get on the waiting list for our VIP access and get that system to help you scale your business. Next week, we're back and we're going to talk about the biggest lessons from 4 years in the industry. And these are always really useful to join these kinds of episodes, because we really do talk openly and honestly about the experiences we've had, and we don't leave anything. We're not polite about it, are we, really?
No, there's no point in trying to put a plaster over it, because if you're out there to help people, I did have a really good idea about a podcast guest, actually, which I'll talk to you about afterwards. But yeah, we talk openly and honestly, because at the end of the day, we just want to help people. We're not here to tart it up or dress it down or anything like that. It's just literally an honest and open environment to be able to chat freely.
Yeah, and we invite you to come and give your experiences and chat freely with us as well. If you want to be a guest on the VA Live Lounge, then just head to morethanava.org/podcasts, and you can fill in the application form there. You don't need to be super knowledgeable. We've had VAs on here that have talked about being a VA with disabilities, scaling into an agency, but actually, working with employees instead of associates. We've had people on here talking about just being specific to their industry. So somebody that worked in the circus for years and then became a VA. So, and we've had people that are non-VA. So if you're listening and you're not a VA, but you think you could bring something to the table for VAs, then we'd love to have you on. But yeah, that's it from us this week, and we'll be back next week.